What's cracking, big dogs? Welcome back to the HQ. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Nick. Big Dog's got a BDGE Fantasy Football. It's Saturday, so we're going live every Saturday answering your Star questions for your fantasy football team. This is the Patreon-only live stream, so if you want to be in the live stream and ask me any personal questions, y'all got to sign up on patreon.com/BDGE. I'm going to send out the link to this live stream right now to get some people in here. I think what we're going to do at the start of every one of these is go over the wide receiver cornerback matchups on week 5 live stream. We are live. Yeah, the block is fucking bumping right now. We're going to go over wide receiver cornerback matchups in terms of who Pro Football Focus expects to be shadowed on the outside, what it means, and then some of the defensive players that are questionable or might be out for this upcoming week of games. I apologize. Let me just send this out right quick. Publish now. Select here. Week 5. Oops. All right, I think we're good. So let's start off with the wide receiver cornerback matchups. And I posted this on Twitter, so make sure you're following me at Nick_BDGE. And again, if you want to hop in the live stream with me every Saturday, answer your Star questions, y'all can do that on patreon.com/BDGE, where you'll get the live stream, my weekly rankings, my waiver wire exclusive article, as well as some other stuff, access to a community forum where you can ask your questions and whatnot. So first up, we have Amari Cooper going against the Packers. He will be shadowed supposedly by Jair Alexander. Now, they haven't actually used a ton of shadow this year, but they have used shadow coverage the last 2 weeks. I would expect Jair Alexander to shadow Amari Cooper in this one because obviously they're the studs on both sides of the ball. Jair Alexander is currently the second highest graded coverage cornerback per PFF among 152 qualified cornerbacks. Second out of 152. That's what we call a fucking breakout sophomore year for the cornerback. Cortland Sutton going against Casey Hayward. He should be shadowed. Casey Hayward is currently the 9th overall graded coverage cornerback out of 152 qualified cornerbacks. So that's another really tough matchup for him as well. What else do we got here? So we have Keenan Allen's going against Denver, and obviously Denver's best cornerback is Chris Harris Jr. in the slot. Keenan Allen runs the majority of his routes from the slot, so he should see a lot of coverage thus far. Surprisingly, Chris Harris, as well as this next guy. So we have Mike Evans getting shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore. Now, this is kind of like a toss-up. It's a little bit difficult to tell what to do with Mike Evans. Obviously, in season long, you're not sitting him, but he's had his ups and downs. He's had very big games while being shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore. He's also been shut down via Marshawn Lattimore, but I think this Bucs offense is starting to click, so no worries there. Chris Harris, Marshawn Lattimore are the respectively 68th and 67th ranked coverage cornerbacks per PFF among 152 qualified. So they're right around, the mid mark. They've been about averaging in terms of coverage this year, but I think they're a little bit better than that. Obviously, PFF has a subjective way of grading Alexander, Cortland Sutton, Casey Hayward, Keenan Allen, Chris Harris, Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore. And then we have the Patriots, who always play man coverage. They always shadow the opposing wide receivers. We have against the Redskins. Obviously, you're probably not looking to start any of the Redskins, but PFF has Terry McLaurin being shadowed by Jason McCourty. We have Paul Richardson being shadowed by Stephon Gilmore. I would be very surprised if Uncle Bill didn't throw Stephon Gilmore on Terry McLaurin because we know he's the most talented wide receiver on that team, and typically Gilmore takes the number 1 on the opposite team. But Jason McCourty is graded out as the 10th best coverage cornerback so far this year out of 152 qualified. Stephon Gilmore still top 36, so still in the top quarter percentile in terms of coverage grade. So regardless of what happens, that's a bad move starting any Redskins wide receivers because they got Colt McCoy, new quarterback, just a shitty offense, and this Patriots defense is playing absolutely lights out. So I'm going to get to your Patreon questions. I promise you we're going to get some sit starts. And hello, everybody. What's up, Cody? What up, Mike? What up, Austin? What's up, Jeremy? How we doing? Again, if y'all are new here, patreon.com/BDGE, where y'all sign up. So some questionable players going into this week on the defensive side of the ball. We have a few Carolina Panthers secondary players. We got Eric Reed, who's on the wrong side of questionable with an ankle injury. We have Dante Jackson, who's been a big piece of their secondary. At cornerback, he's already been ruled out, so that's a little bit of a hit to their secondary. I still think Minshew gets eaten up by this pass rush. In Chicago, we have Akeem Hicks, who is questionable. Obviously, he's a very big presence on the defensive line. I don't think it really fucking matters with the rest of the Bears defense going against Oakland. And the Browns cornerbacks, both of them, Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward, are both not expected to play again this week. Both of them are obviously their top 2 cornerbacks. Didn't really matter against Baltimore last week, so who knows, really, to be honest with you. Both of them are likely going to be out with hamstring injuries. In Indianapolis, man, they are still banged up. Clayton Gathers and Malik Hooker, both of their starting safeties, are going to be out for this one against Patrick Mahomes. Darius Leonard already ruled out. I'm not really sure what's going on with Pierre Desir, but either way, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to go for 450 in a 5 spot. It's going to be fucking embarrassing out there in Kansas City. Jalen Ramsey already ruled out. CJ Mosley for the Jets ruled out at linebacker, which is an upgrade for the entire Philadelphia team. We don't know if Quinnen Williams is going to be back. He is questionable. He's supposed to play, but still some uncertainty around that situation. So the Jets are a little bit banged up. Philly, as we know, they're like without all their fucking cornerbacks. Jalen Mills on the pup, Avonte Maddox, Ronald Darby, all out for this game. So doesn't really matter because they're going against the Jets and not Sam Darnold, who's been ruled out. So that is how I'm going to start off all of these Saturday episodes, I think. Coverage, shadow coverage, defensive injuries, questions, whatever. Like Austin said, smash that like button, boys and girls. Are there any girls in here? I don't think I have any girls in the Patreon segment. We got to diversify the revenue, people. Good afternoon, large canines. Hello, George. Any children's parties to attend today? Real quick, before we even get into fantasy, the new season of Peaky Blinders came out yesterday on Netflix, and I'm 2 episodes in. Great show. However, I think someone ruined it for me because they told me that there's a new director for this season. And now that I'm thinking about it, like I could tell the show is very different from the previous seasons, and I'm like, fuck. Blackout City sending pics. Fuck yeah. I got a wedding next week, so you'll get plenty of them from me. I got a wedding next week. Then I'm going to DC for the weekend. Then we're throwing a Halloween party. It's just going to be litty in the HQ. All right, let's take some questions. Diggs or Juju half PPR? Oof. Not a good problem. A very bad problem to have, obviously. So right now, I mean, we don't know what's going on with Diggs really, other than he's frustrated and if he's going to be on the field. However, Juju kind of scares the shit out of me right now because he's got the toe. I think he's going to be limited. I think he's kind of going to be a decoy. This is for Luke Lofton, by the way. First question. We're getting into the questions. So I think Juju's going to be limited. I don't like that toe injury. I just don't like this offense overall, really, what we're seeing from them. So it's a tough matchup, and Diggs finally coming off like a decent game. They're all fucking yelling at Kirk Cousins, so hopefully they start passing the ball more to make him happy. Maybe that means more design plays for Diggs to keep the kid from fucking screaming his tits off. So I would actually go with Diggs there. Who the fuck are the Steelers even playing against the Ravens? The Ravens actually haven't been that good, but I feel like they'll focus in on Juju, and he's banged up, so I don't really like what we have there. Daniel asks, what would you expect in return for trading Alvin Kamara? Is asking a solid RB, 2 wide receiver, and a tight end too much? I mean, these general trade questions are very difficult to answer without like context behind it. I think Alvin Kamara is a very, very big piece still to any fantasy team. So, I mean, why not? Just fucking throw it out there. I would always say, like, when you're starting to do trade talks, always shoot the over. Always try to ask for more than you think you'll probably be able to get in return. You should always negotiate afterwards. So, I mean, it depends what you mean by like a solid running back. If you're asking in the range of like Miles Sanders, obviously he's a lot more questionable. So you're a lot more likely to pull like a Miles Sanders and a Tyler Boyd and maybe like a fucking maybe Austin Hooper for Kamara. I think that's like a reasonable trade that I don't know if I would do that because typically when I trade, I like to be on the team that gets the actual best player involved in the trade. Who should I flex? John Brown, Michael Gallup, or OJ Howard? Thanks, big dog. Millie Tings. Interesting question. So we have John Brown going against the Titans. Josh Allen is going to be playing, which is good news. I don't really like Michael Gallup right now coming off of this knee thing, and I don't trust OJ Howard. So just by default there, I think I would go with John Brown. And make sure y'all include the scoring settings in your questions, please. So right now we have John Brown. We'll see Adoree Jackson, who's actually been very good in terms of coverage grade, but John Brown's also been very good. And it seems like Josh Allen goes to Cole Beasley or John Brown on basically every play. So I'll go with Brown just because I don't really like the other matchups. I want to see Gallup on the field one more time before we throw him in there because I think he'll probably be on limited snaps. Plus, it's a pretty tough matchup against a Green Bay secondary. Although you could make the case that with Jair Alexander shadowing Amari Cooper, and I believe the Packers are without like a couple of their top cover corners, he could be a good play. I'm just a little bit scared about the total snap percentage, man. So I think Brown and Gallup are a very good argument. I wouldn't really fault you either way. Need to flex to Chark, Carolina, Breida versus Cleveland, Josh Jacobs for Chicago, Mecole Hardman versus Indy. Ooh, that's a good one. Corey, I'm going to need you to throw in scoring types, guys. Josh Drew asks, Josh Allen is my starting quarterback. Not comfortable with him this week. Should I stick it out or stream Andy Dalton versus Arizona? Fuck, dude, that's so tough because Dalton's going to be without John Ross, so it's without the field stretch. But I also think that Dalton's probably – I mean, if you look at my rankings, I actually think I just threw Josh Allen back in my rankings this morning after we heard that he was going to be playing. Josh Allen is currently quarterback 20, Andy Dalton quarterback 19. Dalton always plays horrible on primetime television, especially against the Steelers, so I wouldn't look too much into the recency bias. Obviously, without John Ross, things get a little bit difficult, but I think his receiver group behind him, Auden Tate, and those guys are – I don't want to say underrated, but they're a little bit underrated. Like, they're good athletes, good receivers. They're fine. So, Drew, I'd go Andy Dalton there. Tennessee matchup is tough. DJ Moore or Curtis Samuel have a better game. At this point, it's like it's pretty much like a toss-up. I mean, they both obviously get a big upgrade from the fact that Jalen Ramsey is going to be out. I would expect DJ Moore to get the easier matchup. I think Curtis Samuel probably gets AJ Bowie a little bit more. Let me check the coverage lists. Yeah, Samuels runs about 50% of his routes from the right side. AJ Bowie is a primary left side coverage guy. So, I mean, they'll split snaps with seeing Bowie, and it's not like he's a shutdown corner. So I guess I would go with DJ Moore. But, I mean, neither of them are really preferable plays at this point. I traded Godwin and Disley in PPR for Keenan Allen. Good trade. I own Disley. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, Keenan Allen's probably going to end the year as the wide receiver one, if not like top three, if not the one overall in PPR. Ash, totally cool with that. Ridley or MVX or MVS in the flex. What was the scoring type? Did we see full PPR? Oh, I like that. So I'm actually going to go back to the well on Calvin Ridley again. This is going to be a matchup I think is going to absolutely exploit this Houston defense. I think it's going to be it's going to be a very high scoring affair between Watson and Matt Ryan. They're both going to pass the ball a ton. This is a game where both of these passing offenses need to kind of get right here, and neither of the defenses are strong enough to really battle one another. I really like MVS. I feel like I want to see him do it real quick as the wide receiver one before I throw him in the head of guys like Ridley. And it's not a shutdown matchup, but he'll see a heavy dose of Byron Jones. So it's kind of tough against Dallas. ESPN isn't loading. I might be missing some of my sit starts, but I'll start with Edelman or Boyd standard. Not great plays in standard, but I would actually go with Boyd. I mean, the guy's got to get in the fucking end zone soon. Without John Ross, he becomes like the de facto wide receiver one here. Like I said, I expect a little bit of a bounce back for Dalton. I wouldn't look too much into last week's performance, Mike. So I'd go Boyd there. Smash that like button, boys and girls. Fuck yeah. Again, if y'all are new here, well, if you're a Patreon, there's 30 people in here and only 12 thumbs up. Scroll down a little bit. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Let YouTube know that we're doing a decent job here. I'm trying my best. I know it's not that good, but it's all I got for you. We got heart. We got heart in the HQ. I actually got a deformed heart. I have what they call a bicuspid aortic valve. I got to go to a cardiologist. Keeps telling me to stop working out my chest. I'm like, bitch, I got a bench press. It's Titty Tuesday, bro. These girls like the pecs. Pecs to get breasts. It's a horrible fucking analogy. It's very minor, though. They pushed it back. I only have to see a cardiologist once every other year. So we have heart for right now, but probably not for long. So if you are just new joining us on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy the video, if you find it informational, valuable. You could sign up on patreon.com to join the live stream every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Patreon.com/BDGE. You'll get all my weekly rankings, all that yada, yada, yada. That will be linked down below. And Nick, Scary Terry or Cortland Sutton at wide receiver, half PPR. We hate the matchup with Cortland Sutton against Casey Hayward, but at this point, I'm not starting Scary Terry. F1, whatever the fuck people want to call him. There's just too many variables this week. New quarterback. We don't know what the chemistry is going to be like. He's likely to be a game-time decision, probably not 100% with the hamstring. So I heard there's a new Wu-Tang show that's out supposed to be Flames. So they did a documentary on it. I remember me and my roommate were watching it one night, but it was when we got back from being out at 2 a.m. and we just fucking passed out after 40 minutes of it. I don't really remember it, but it was good thus far. It was pretty cool. They're all old at the time. They're doing it now, but they went back to the projects and they got a bunch of old school filmography and shit from it. I forget if it's on Showtime or HBO or something, but it was good so far. I think it's like a 4-episode miniseries. But I might jump back into that eventually. What's up, Nick? I'm a new member Patreon. I need one of these guys for my flex. Gordon, Mixon, or Hollywood PPR, half PPR. Thanks. Bergeron. What up, though? So we have Gordon, Mixon, or Hollywood. That's a good question. I would actually. All right, so let's break these down. We have Mixon going against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals actually low-key been decent against the run. They've let up some fantasy points, but they've actually been good against the run. And the unfortunate part for Mixon is he's had some blow-up games, but he's been very inconsistent in the passing game, and they've been using Gio Bernard a lot on third downs and a lot in the passing game. So that kind of scares me. Melvin Gordon is I'm not sure, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know if you're talking about Josh Gordon or Melvin Gordon, but I don't know why I'm going to assume this, but I'm going to assume you're talking about Melvin Gordon. So Melvin Gordon going against Denver. I don't know. There's too many conflicting reports. He'll be in my lineup only because I don't have choices like you do in my flex spots. So I'll probably end up rolling with Mixon here. Hollywood's getting so many targets, but this Pittsburgh pass defense has actually been very much improved over the last few weeks. So they're starting to turn things on a little bit and clicking a little bit. So I like Hollywood. For me, it's between Mixon and Hollywood, and I'll probably end up rolling with the guaranteed touches in Mixon. Austin just got DeAndre Hopkins. The hell should I do with him? I mean, what are you going to do? Season long, you got to fucking keep rolling him out. I think this will be a big game for him. I mean, we look back to week 1. If you really break down his game log so far, I'm going to pull him up real quick. I don't want to say excuses to be made because he's your first round fucking pick, so he's got to, get that revenue for you. But I mean, week 1 goes off 8 for 111 and 2 touchdowns. Week 2 is a really tough matchup. He's getting shadowed by Jalen Ramsey. Week 3, he's getting shadowed by Casey Hayward. Week 4, he's getting shadowed by, he's getting shadowed by James Bradbury, who is a tough matchup. He's actually one of the top 10 coverage cornerbacks right now so far through the season. But that Carolina defense was just fucking ferocious on the line. Deshaun Watson had, no time. He was getting sacked left and right. So I don't want to make excuses for every fucking game, but he had his one really big game in week 1, and then the last 3 games have been terrible matchups for Hopkins. So I expect a lot better coming out of him in week 5 right now against the Falcons. So I'm not really too concerned about Hopkins. I mean, if he has a bad game this week, then I'm fucking terrified. Danny Sullivan, what's up, my man? New Patreon subscriber and only due to you, my man. Need your help with choosing 2 of 3 and more interested in the why behind it. PPR, Marcus Robinson, Stephon Diggs, Curtis Samuel. I'm going to go ahead and just sit Curtis Samuel. I like the upside that DeMarcus Robinson adds, and as I spoke on at the beginning of the video, you might have just jumped in here. I talked about all the guys that were questionable going into the game for Indianapolis. They're missing both of their safeties, Clayton Gathers and Malik Hooker, so they'll be without both their starting safeties, and obviously DeMarcus Robinson is a guy who beats you over the top, so that's a big hit to their defense, as well as the deep passing game for KC. And then they'll also be without Darius Leonard. They'll be without, maybe Pierre Desir, their top cover corner. So it's a shitty health situation for the Colts. So I kind of like the Marcus Robinson. And then who's it? Diggs and Samuel. I don't want to say it's a coin flip because Diggs has a better matchup in my opinion against the Giants. And I think all this obviously as long as he plays, all this chirping should lead to a little bit more in terms of the manufactured touches for Diggs. So I'll go with Diggs and Robinson there, Danny. How is Peaky Blinders, Nick? I really like Cillian Murphy as an actor. Yeah, Cillian Murphy's a fucking beast. I was thinking about being him for Halloween and getting that real high and tight where you just fucking shave off everything down. But then that would require me to shave my beard, and I can't do that shit. I can't be baby-faced. It's not who I am. I love that a beard is makeup for a guy, realistically. I'd probably get no. I don't think girls would like me as much if I didn't have a beard. We'll put it that way. The couple episodes so far that I've watched are okay. They're definitely not up to par with last season, but I think they got a new director, which is kind of not the best. Full PPR, MVS, David Montgomery, A-Rob, Josh Jacobs, or man, Jesus Christ. It's a lot of options. Who's it? Chicago, Oakland, A-Rob. I like A-Rob there, but I just think the amount of touches that David Montgomery's been getting is just too much to pass up on right now. Plus, Oakland is the 30th ranked run defense per PFF. They have the 30th worst graded out rush defense. So if there's going to be a game where they rely on David Montgomery, it's because they got a backup quarterback and against a really shitty defense. I would roll David Montgomery. Josh Jacobs on the flip side obviously has a very tough matchup against Chicago's defense. I like Allen Robinson there. I mean, I like all your choices, to be honest with you, but I'll take the guaranteed touches in David Montgomery. Zach, what up? Full PPR. Michelle, Gordon, Aaron Jones, or Ertz in the flex? I'm going to go with Aaron Jones. He should be the fucking workhorse there against a average Dallas run defense, especially without, what's his face, Jamal Williams. So I actually think, Dexter Williams is obviously going to fill in for Jamal. And I think Dexter Williams is possibly a better runner than Jamal Williams is. But the problem with having Jamal Williams on the field for Aaron Jones' purposes is that Jamal Williams is a much better pass catcher. Dexter Williams was not known as a pass catcher in college. So I think even if they end up splitting touches and snaps and stuff, Aaron for starter sit Mecole Hardman this week. I mean, depends who the fuck you're starting to shit him against. Like, I'd start Keenan Allen over him, but I wouldn't start a little BC Johnson. Is that the fucking Vikings wide receiver guy? I don't know. You gotta give me some context there. Scoring settings as well as players that you could possibly start. Oh my God, where are we? Holy shit, we got a lot of questions. I got to run through these quickly, huh? Love you, bro. Love you too, Steven. You're a good guy. Better guy than me, I promise you that. Pick 2 PPR, Allison, Thompson, Sanders, Hardman at flex 2 spots. I'm going to assume Thompson is Chris Thompson. So we will roll with I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders. I think he'll have a good day with Casey Hayward matching up on Cortland Sutton. And we're going to go back with Mecole Hardman because, like I said, Indy's super banged up. So I like Sanders. I like Hardman. Juice fucking Hardman for what we can while Tyreek Hill's out. Derek, what up? PPR League. Guy offered me Beckham and either Ertz or Waller for Cup. I have McDonald and Hunter Henry at tight end. I don't hate that, man. I really don't. That's like, those are two really, really, really good pieces. I mean, Odell has obviously been a lot more inconsistent than Cooper Kupp has been, but he's Odell and his big games will come. Plus, like I would probably take Darren Waller over Ertz right now in a full PPR league. Guy's on pace for like 135 fucking receptions. So yeah, I would take Waller and Beckham for Kupp. I would do that, my man. Standard Boyd, DJ Moore, Breida, or Allison. Give me Boyd there. Give me the matchup. Give me the guy that had his other wide receiver one, John Ross, just get hurt. Dalton's in for a bounce back. Let's go, Zach. Boyd. Is Duke Johnson droppable half PPR? Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to be able to play him, I don't think he's necessarily someone you need to have on your team. He's so hard to trust right now. They're like barely even using him in the passing game at this point. A-Rob versus Oakland, Curtis Samuel versus Jacksonville, or Damian Williams, Sunday Night Football versus Indianapolis. Pick uno for the flex, full PPR. Ooh, my heart is telling me Damian Williams just because I really like him as a player, and he's been practicing in full, but I think the smart play would be Allen Robinson. I think A-Rob has a good game. I think A-Rod's going to give you a good floor of something like 6 for 75 or 6 for 82 or some shit like that, where Damian Williams, obviously could get 2 goal line carries and, 14 touches or something like that. So I think it depends. I think Damian probably has the ceiling. I think A-Rob has the floor, and I'll probably end up taking the floor there with A-Rob. Need a wide receiver 2 with Galladay on bye. Gallup, Dorsett, or drop either Fuller, Hardman, or drop either for Fuller, Hardman, Allison, half PPR. I really like the matchup for Dorsett. I like Dorsett and I like Fuller as well, but I don't think I'd drop either of them for Fuller. Let's roll with Dorsett there, Pelton. Does Damian Williams have any shot at being a solid RB2 this week or rest of season? I still think he's the most talented back in that backfield. I still think he is easily in line for a 50-50 work split, and obviously that worked well for Darrell Williams. They score a lot of touchdowns. So, yeah, I think this week, obviously, I'm a little bit hesitant to throw him back in the lineup because he missed so many weeks, and typically players coming back from multi-week injuries play a lot less snaps than they did prior to the injury. And they have Shady McCoy, who's doing fine work with his heavy dosage of usage. So I give him like a 50-50 shot to be an RB2 this week. But rest of the season going forward, as long as he can stay healthy, yeah, I still like him. Need a flex too. Chark, Carolina, Breeder versus Cleveland. Josh, I feel like I answered a lot of these already, didn't I? Or am I crazy? Am I just getting a lot of the same names over and over again? Hit the like button, fools. Yeah, Austin fucking knows. Smice it. Holy hell. Y'all still hear me right now? Because it said unable to connect to the chat, man. Ever since I got this new router, which is great. It's fucking fast as shit. But it disconnects from the internet every once in a while. I'm assuming y'all cannot, well, hopefully y'all can hear me, but I'm assuming you can't write, or whatever you're writing in right now, I can't see. The last thing I got was Joshua Penrod, great fucking name, Sony or Auden Tate, half PPR. So that was the last question. Unfortunately, that'll probably end it. So I'll answer all the ones that are on there, which are still like another fucking 30 questions. So if you are a Patreon member, obviously go drop your question on Patreon, and we will make sure to get around to answering that. If you're on YouTube, again, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy the video. Subscribe to us on Patreon, where you'll get all this exclusive content. It's patreon.com/BDGE. Let's answer the rest of the questions. Wish I could hit a love and respect button. That comment is all love and respect, baby. I feel you. Sanders, Gore, Rojo, Damian Williams, full PPR, pick one, please. Thomas Fife, I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders there. I don't trust the running backs, especially with their counterparts also playing roles in their backfield. AJ, PPR, who to flex? MVS, Devonta Freeman, or Lindsey? Ooh, I low-key kind of like Lindsey there. I think Lindsey is a good play. I think MVS is also a good play, but probably getting a little bit cute. I don't trust Devonta Freeman for shit. You know what, AJ? Let's flex Philip Lindsey there. I think that's going to be my pick. Love you, bro. Steven, you've just been copy and pasting your question in like 600 times. We bike smash that thumbs up, or it's probably my internet just reposting it 250 times. Subscribe to the channel, hose. Yeah, George knows. PPR flex, Boyd, Sammy, MVS, Sonia, Thompson. Man, I hate that Sammy Watkins popped up questionable this week. I'm going to roll with Boyd there, D Remedy. Half PPR, need a wide receiver and a flex. Hilton, KC, but night game and worried about availability. Damian Williams, Indiana. Josh Gordon, and MVS. So the good news is that you could start one of those wide receivers. I would go Josh Gordon over MVS as your wide receiver one. And then in terms of flex, I would decide between Hilton and Damian Williams. If Hilton plays, obviously go with him. If he doesn't play, then I go with Damian Williams. Ash, I have a minor aortic leaky heart valve too. Yeah, let's get it. Let's die together, bro. Any way should I still pick up Herndon if I own Kittle PPR? Yeah, man. I think that tight ends are very valuable. What if Herndon comes out and has like a Darren Waller type month after he comes back? Like, he's going to have a ton of trade value. Ertz or Waller rest of way PPR. Derek, I'm going to be honest with you. I'd take Darren Waller there. Fournette and Keenan or Kamara and B. Cooks rest of the season? Oof. I wish I knew the scoring format there. Probably doesn't matter, actually. Stewart. I'd probably give the slight edge to I can't believe I'm saying this. To Keenan Allen and Fournette. Can't wait for Bagels and Locks tomorrow. Yeah, I wonder who their picks are. So funny. That shit is hilarious, bro. I forgot they were putting it up the first week, and I went onto my channel, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I watched it, and I cracked up like 10 separate times. It was absurd. Just saw a Joker, dude. Worth it, Joking. Joke. Why can't I say his name? Joe Queen. How the fuck do you pronounce his name? Joaquin Phoenix? No, that's not it. Why can't I think of how to pronounce his name? Whatever. My roommate actually saw it. Said it was Joaquin. Yes. Like Yakeem? 3 M's or 4? I didn't think you could hear me, to be honest. I'm excited about that. So apparently it's Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know if I believe him or not, but let's get this breed. Trade question. Might be crazy. Do I trade Nuke to the Devontae owner for Le'Veon? I have Lockett, Cooks, Boyd, and Gallup for wide receiver. Chubb, Aaron Jones, Eckler, Sander. I would hold. I think you probably need more help at wide receiver than you do than you do at running back, Eric. Yeah, I would hold there. Are you concerned about Sanu taking opportunities away from Ridley? It's interesting because this was something that we kind of saw. I mean, I think what happened last week is 2 of our offensive linemen got hurt mid-game, and thus that led to tons of dump-offs to Devonta Freeman and Austin Hooper. He had to get the ball out really quickly. So I think that's what led to the down game for both Ridley and Julio Jones. So I'm not worried about, like, Sanu taking away opportunities from Ridley, but I also think you need to temper expectations a little bit. Because actually, even during the preseason, we saw Sanu running as the 2 in wide receiver 2 sets, which is fucking weird, but it is what it is. Sanu's just actually a big part of this offense. So, Panthers or Chiefs D this week, and what the fuck has Brandon Cooks been doing? Cooks got hurt, dog. He got fucked up. He's in the concussion protocol. Hopefully, he's out by next week. Matt Ryan or Jacoby Brissett? Chill. Matt Ryan. Great fucking defensive matchup for him. It's just a bad trade. My Bears D and carry on for Chubb. Fuck no, dude. Go get Chubb. Standard 10-team. Gallup, Watkins, Boyd, Damian Williams need to play 1 wide receiver and 1 at flex. So, wide receiver, well, it depends, I guess, what happens with Watkins. I mean, let me see if there's any injury updates on Sammy real quick. Let me go creep on Twata. Sammy Watkins is a pyramid scheme. That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Sammy Watkins now questionable. What's he got? Like a fucking shoulder and something else. Let me look it up, see if there's any updates on Roto Twirled. What? We played Matt Bosher on the fucking injury reserve? Devastating. Hamstring and shoulder. What the fuck's he got both of these things now? God, that sucks. Watkins plays. I'd probably play Watkins over Damian Williams in the standard Jedi, just because Damian Williams is super involved in the passing game. So I'd go Boyd. And Watkins there probably. PPR, hold on to OJ or drop him for Herndon. I have Ertz as well. I'll probably grab Herndon over OJ at this point. Pick 2 PR. John Allison, Chris Thompson, Miles Sanders, Mecole Hardman at 2 flex spots. Give me the 2 wide receivers, Allison and Hardman, Steve. Odie, Watson, Waller, Chark, and Howard for Kamara in half. So we have Watson, Deshaun Watson, Darren Waller, DJ Chark, and Howard. I'm assuming that is Jordan Howard for Kamara in half PPR, 1 quarterback league. I have Lamar Jackson, Kelsey on my team, plus I picked up Herndon off waivers. Good trade. Yeah, I think that's a great trade, considering you have Lamar Jackson and Kelsey, who are probably more valuable than both Watson and Waller at this point for you. Babyface Nix looks like a level 3 sex offender. Ash Ketchum, I appreciate that, George. I look like a 3-year-old, like someone who would get sex offended on. Ash Ketchum, start 2 in PPR. Josh Gordon, Melvin Gordon, Demont. I'll sit Melvin Gordon there, Ash. I don't know what the fuck we're kind of gonna get out of his workload. Demont's been getting so many opportunities, and I like the matchup a lot for Josh Gordon. Mixon, Gallman, Demont, pick 2. I'll go with Demont and Mixon. I'm going to sit Wayne Gallman in this really tough matchup. Half PPR. I have 1 wide receiver spot to fill. Sammy, Cortland Sutton, or Sterling Shepard. I'm scared of Watkins flopping. Well, I'm scared of him flopping too, and he's questionable. Plus, it's hard to, when I don't know if we're going to know what his status is until Monday Night Football. So it's super hard to get a gauge on what we're going to actually see from him. So given that, I'd probably take Shepard over Sutton because Sutton's going to be shadowed by Casey. 3 more questions left. Kyler or Jameis, 4-point passing touchdown. Great matchup for Kyler. I'm going to look at my rankings for this one because it's probably so close. So I have Jameis as quarterback 9, Kyler quarterback 11. I'll ride the hot streak with Jameis there. Corey. Steven, sorry, my question was Miles Sanders. So I already hit you with that. Joshua, last question here because my chat disconnected, unfortunately. Sony or Auden? I think we're getting too cute with Auden Tate there. Too cute. I mean, I'm probably going to look back and like Sony's going to go 12 for fucking 22. Without a touchdown, Auden Tate 8 for 117. But I wouldn't feel right if I fucking told you to play Auden Tate over Sony Michel. So we're going to go with Sony Michel. That, unfortunately, is the last question on the stream that I could see because my internet keeps fucking up and bursting out. So That's going to wrap up the sit starts. Obviously, if you're on Patreon, make sure that you ask any other questions you have on the forum, the community, whatever. On the community tab, please don't DM the messages because we want everyone to see because it probably affects other people. Anyways, if you sign up on patreon.com/BDGE, you'll get the weekly rankings. You will get the live stream. You'll get my exclusive waiver wire article, which I only put on there, and the forum. If you are only on YouTube and you just want to support the brand without paying you, boy, which is totally fine. Love y'all either way. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Good luck in week 5, and I'll see y'all after the weekend. So have a good weekend. Love y'all.